This is such a weird angle to see from the start of watching and Facilitate. How are we feeling? Good, good. Give me a thermometer. So like, yay energy, feeling really high. We got some snacks earlier. Okay, great. All right, amazing. We'll try to keep it up. I'd firstly like to acknowledge, of course, the traditional land on which we are standing today. In many Indigenous cultures, as with the cultures that a lot of you all come from, mothers, aunties, grandmothers, sisters, they carry wisdom in their stories that we ride and on whose shoulders we get so much that we benefit from today. So I invite you to join me in acknowledging the traditional custodians of the Bunurong Bunburo and Wurundjeri Woi people of the Kulin Nation, and elders past, present, and strongly emerging, especially our women and gender diverse community, whose guidance continues to shape this land, waters, and our collective future. Sovereignty has never been ceded, and this was and always will be Aboriginal land. There's a quote that says, "You are the fairy tale told by your ancestors." All of us here is a chapter in someone else's courage. We stand on the shoulders of giants, often women who spoke up when they were expected to stay small, who rebelled by existing authentically. And just for the record, tampons, pads, and period. As a migrant woman of color, I've wrestled with the familiar dance of trying to belong while also trying to speak up and break molds and shape systems, work twice as hard to get half as far. And when I stepped first into my first real leadership title, the imposter syndrome invited me to the dance floor. And I was like, no. And then I read this beautiful article by Ruchika Tulshan and Jodi Anbiri. It's titled, "Stop Telling Women They Have Imposter Syndrome." That perspective hit me like a seismic shift. This is what it taught me. Not lacking confidence, just navigating systems not built for us. Not evidence of inadequacy, but evidence of environments that undervalue difference. When organizations change the system instead of trying to change the women, leadership becomes powerful, unapologetic, authentic, and audacious. I also came across the term, "have the audacity of a mediocre white man." To which I say, when I fully step into my power, he's got nothing on me. The Joan Kirner leadership program really shifted something in me, as I'm sure it did for all of you. Sure, the frameworks are useful, and the 5 whys may have sent me to an existential crisis, but the best learnings came from watching leadership live in action, from Lena and Kate, both of you, from seeing our guest speakers like Hutch, Sonia, and Adele, and most profoundly from each and every one of you. Your stories stretched my worldview, your perspective challenged my very self-limiting beliefs. Your courage reminded me that leadership doesn't wait until we're ready. It waits until we decide. And I've been so blown away by the kindred we build. Even seeing the support we offer each other in our WhatsApp group, it's so heartwarming to see. And there are many leadership lessons that I'm taking from this group, and I made a whole list, but I am strapped for time, so I won't tell all of them, and I maybe will share it in the WhatsApp group. But we lead best when we listen first. Empathy, curiosity, and storytelling drive more change more effectively than authority and data alone. Thanks, Natalie, for sharing your storytelling example. Stories literally change the world. They're data with a soul. I know when I started talking about my storytelling journey of navigating endometriosis and seeing how less support and representation there is, especially in the workplace, I knew I needed to change things. And I started a campaign called Healing in Color, where we spoke about our experiences as women of color with endometriosis, navigating medical misogyny, medical gaslighting, and now I'm the ambassador for Endometriosis Australia. I'm doing it great. And that's the thing, like once you think about what you need to change, just taking that first step, and then people will just rally behind you. So just know that if you're looking to make change, there are at least 40 people in this room rallying behind you to make that change. So I want you to remember that. Empathy is not soft, it's not a soft skill, it's a non-negotiable, and it's hard to ignore. And although we don't really need a business case to prove it, Harvard and Forbes affirm that higher empathy and EQ are one of the highest leadership skills, accounting for higher performance, engagement, retention, and overall organizational well-being and effectiveness. Delegation is legacy building. I learned this as I had my first intern in the last few weeks, and it overlapped so beautifully with all of the learnings that I took from this program. And it's hardest to practice what you preach. And as a yoga teacher and well-being educator, this one's a constant work in progress. Self-care and rest is not indulgence, it's resistance. You cannot lead people to sustainability if you're burning at the center of the fire. And the one that I hold the closest is leadership is a practice of self-inquiry. Who am I? What drives me? Is it aligned with my values? And what do I stand for? And courage begins with that mirror and with those questions. And I talk about inclusion and belonging because I have that lived experience. But at the end of the day, everyone deserves to feel a sense of belonging. And belonging comes from courage. The courage to be seen, to be heard, to be imperfect, to not get it right all the time, but like to actually acknowledge that you will make mistakes along the way. And in this program, I gained so much more than, all of these learnings and a booklet and a network. I walk away with what I call my newly expanded personal board of directors, those who hold me accountable and elevate my thinking, my cheerleaders who hype me up and remind me of my wins and hold space for the wobbles. For example, Beck, who held space for me when I was having a terrible day and I wanted to be here, but she was such an incredible support. And my pod buddy, Brody, who reminded me as an entrepreneur, your budget is not my problem. That's what I'm going to tell my clients. Thanks, Brody. Leadership can be lonely, but now I've got around 35 new strategic minds and hype machines alongside me, and know that I'll be one for you. And I can't wait to see the collaborations that come out of this. I walk away with my renewed purpose. I'm here to be the most courageous version of myself, aligned in my values, driven by my love of learning and teaching, and to design and facilitate a better future, because everyone deserves to be loved. To my fellow leaders, I'm excited for us to build, to challenge, to disrupt what needs disrupting, and I wish for us to do it with integrity, intention, and let's be honest, with a lot of delusional audacity. I'd like to cross out the emerging bit now, because now we've emerged, and I genuinely cannot wait to see what we design next together. Thank you.